I am sure you have heard amazing things about Tulum before. Yes, it's this place in Mexico that you have very likely seen on Instagram with its snow-white beaches and its dreamy hotels in the middle of the jungle. But is it really worth the hype? And where to go and what to do if you have enough of avocado toasts, vendors on the beach, and lining up with the other tourists? Follow me and explore Tulum off the beaten path, a journey to secret underwater caves, an empty beach away from the hustle and bustle, and to the best local eateries. Good morning from Tulum. It's my first day here and I'm actually super curious because I have been exactly here on my world trip, I think 4 years ago, and I will find out if Tulum is still worth a visit or if it's maybe meanwhile just a place to skip because it's too touristic. Just in case you have never heard of Tulum, let me briefly fill you in. We are in Mexico, about 130 kilometers south of Cancun on the Yucatan Peninsula. Here you find Tulum. Since the 1990s, it grew from a remote outpost of counterculture to a global hotspot of tourism. 1990, Tulum had 2,000 inhabitants. In the year 2000, it had grown to 12,000. Today, more than 46,000 people live in Tulum, with nearly 2.5 million visitors each year. What started off as a perfect fantasy of a beachside utopia in front of a breathtaking jungle backdrop is a highly frequented tourist hotspot today. Tulum still has a jungle meets beach vibe, but now is boasting countless hotels, restaurants, shops and clubs. Today I'm gonna explore Tulum. Unfortunately it's super hot, I'm already sweating, but the best way to do so is to go on a bicycle. Tulum town is completely different from the Tulum beach area and hotel zone. What most travelers mean when they are talking about Tulum is Tulum Beach, where most of the hotels are situated along one road. The beach road is best to be explored by bicycle. The sheer amount of cars catering to the hotels and tourists often cause long traffic jams. If you're worried about taking the right choice of hotel, most of them are pretty much in a similar style, right on the beach, nestled in the jungle. And yes, they as well look good in reality and not only on Instagram. The beaches of Tulum are pretty amazing, and even if there might be a lot of seagrass, the hotels will do everything to keep the beaches photogenic. But there is one downside of a place like Tulum. Many people have heard of it meanwhile, and many people want to visit. Restaurants like the famous Nu need to be booked way in advance, and you will have to share your dreamy beaches with quite a few other people and vendors trying to sell you dream catchers, hammocks and clothes. Tulum is one of the places where people literally stand in a long line to get their perfect picture for Instagram. To be honest, I could do this for quite a while, just being here at the beach. Super, super beautiful. Quite a while, took exactly 2 days. Then I was fed up with avocado toasts, the sand on the beach, fancy restaurants, and the always same bohemian hippie clothes in the Tulum shops. I was seeking some action, preferably with not so many other people around. So I decided to hit Tulum's more remote tracks and call Juan from the company Tulum Underground, because I had heard about some amazing underwater caves and cenotes, only accessible in company of a local guide.
As you can see, I am in the middle of the jungle now, and we will go on a super cool excursion to see some secret underwater cenotes.
There we go.
A cenote is a deep natural well or sinkhole formed by the collapse of surface limestone that exposes groundwater underneath. The term is specifically associated with the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico, where cenotes were commonly used for water supplies by the ancient Maya and occasionally for sacrificial offerings. The Yucatan Peninsula has more than 7,000 cenotes, nestled into the jungle, and they are connected to each other by subterranean rivers.
All the peninsula of Yucatan basically is limestone rock, so the water drips inside and erodes the rock, forming these flooded caves everywhere. Actually, the system that the cenote is part of is 350 kilometers long, and it's known to be the largest in the world, as we know. And it's all flooded caves. The cenotes are the entrances to those caves in the surface.
Yes, you heard right. The Yucatan Peninsula is home to the world's longest underground river and cave system. The cenotes and underground river system has been explored since the days of the early Mayans. But only in March 2007, 2 dedicated divers were able to connect the Yucatan region's second and third longest cave system.
So now this is starting like a horror story. We are entering the dark parts of the cave system. This is like an out of this world experience. Look at this tree that is growing down here into the caves and getting the waters with its roots.
Stalactites, they grow 1 centimeter per 100 years. So this could probably have thousands of years. That hole is the mark of the drop that initiates this formation.
So look at these roots here. You can even bounce.
And they keep on growing to the sides more. We're going to see a few others there. They are bigger, so when the water goes down, they still get water.
The stalactites above us and caves became pretty narrow. But then our guide Juan told us to put on our goggles and snorkels. And a whole new world opened up below us underwater. The underground river system of the Yucatan Peninsula is supposed to have a length of 350 kilometers. And we got a little but very impressive glimpse of this majestic system.
what a perfect little adventure in the jungle. Today we are escaping Tulum a little bit. We are at Bahia Soliman now, which is a bit more private beach. There is only one hotel here on this whole beach, otherwise private houses. And we're gonna explore this beautiful bay.
As soon as you are leaving the main road of Tulum, you can find much more remote beaches without vendors, loud music or too many other people. Soliman Bay is a hidden place in the Mayan Riviera that lies between Tulum and Akumal. Unlike the beaches of Tulum, the bay is sheltered from the ocean by a reef. Besides of the most amazing blue color, Bahia Soliman's flat and calm waters make it a perfect destination for water sports of all kind, like kayaking or snorkeling.
Today we're going on a little snorkel safari.
When snorkeling at Bahia Soliman and in the whole Tulum area, keep your eyes open for sea turtles. We unfortunately couldn't spot any, but I was lucky to see a stingray. No visit to Mexico is complete without having Mexican food. And I have to disappoint you. For the real deal, you have to leave the Tulum beach strip and take a trip to Tulum downtown. When in Mexico, you have to eat tacos. It's one of the favorites of Mexican cuisine, no matter if you're a tourist or a local. Discussions about where to eat the best tacos in town are a part of Mexicans' everyday life. And several locals pointed out the taco stand in front of the supermarket Super Aki in Tulum. So I got my own tacos there, supposedly the best ones in town.
So this is my try of my taco. Awesome.
Sweets are my favorite meal of the day, so it didn't take long to convince me to have a marquesita. It's a favorite local treat on the Yucatan Peninsula. Marquesitas are crispy crepes that are rolled up and filled with melted shredded cheese and a sweet filling. In my case, I went for strawberries and Nutella.
So this is going to be my first marquesita ever. Pretty good. So you think you would taste the cheese of the marquesita, but actually you don't. It's pretty sweet and very good.
Thanks for exploring Tulum off the beaten path with me. The next episode will take us to a more hidden gem of the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, the coastal town El Cuyo. Tune in next Thursday and leave me a comment and a thumbs up if you liked this episode. And don't forget to subscribe to be part of the upcoming trips.